Our mission at Community Table is a community in which people have access to food and resources to foster self-sufficiency, right? Our vision is we will empower our community by providing the tools to lift people from poverty. And our core values are we are compassionate in all relationships, we honor and respect the dignity of our clients, we demonstrate integrity in all matters, we are efficient stewards of all resources, we value innovation for continual improvement, and we provide exemplary service to the community, right? A couple of those that are big for sorting are, for us, we are efficient stewards of all resources, right? So that means there's times when we're sorting and we're low on food, and so I have to purchase food. I have to pick which foods are probably the most needed foods, right? Peanut butter, proteins, fruit, those are the things that we have to buy. And so we're compassionate in all relationships. That one's just all the time, right? That one's tough. That means being compassionate towards the staff, towards other volunteers, towards our clients. As a lead sorter, you won't have to deal with a lot of client interaction, but you will deal with a lot of donor interaction. And with donor interaction, it's important to be, compassionate in those relationships. What's the responsibility of you guys as a lead sorter? The biggest responsibility for you in particular as a lead sorter is making sure that sorters are doing the job correctly, right? But as a sorter in general, we're ensuring the food safety for our clients, okay? A lot of clients will just assume that we are putting food out on the shelves that's safe to eat, right? And so some clients do go through and they search every single can. They will check every can, and if it's out of date, they won't take it, right? But we want to make sure that any food that is put on the shelves is safe for them to eat. There will be times when we have stuff that we can't see, like a puncture underneath, a label or something that we just don't know is there. There will be times that happens, but overall, we want to make sure that we're catching as much as we can, to make sure it's safe for our clients. So with our sorting process, food is good if it's canned for a very long time, right? We cut that off at a certain point, but as Dwayne would say, canned food, if stored at the right temperature in a safe place, is good forever, What happens though is the texture of the food and the taste of the food diminishes over time. And so we do have set dates in which we're gonna go by, and that's just so that, the quality of the food and the flavor is still at that good amount, But after their best by date, the texture might be a little weird, the flavor will be a little off, so.
Real quick, what do we do with food that we can't give out, right? Well, all food, as we just spoke about, must be weighed in when it comes in. That means it must be weighed out when it's thrown away. So that's the number one rule. We don't throw away any food without weighing it first. So how do we do that? Well, number one, we use what we call our goat box system. So over here, we got a rolling cart that is located back here by the dumpster door. So all food products that are going to be thrown away ends up here on this goat cart. If it's not produce that is separately sorted out and stored in its own spoilage location, we're talking strictly about sortables and perishable goods that come in through the refrigeration and stuff like that. It all goes here. It all gets weighed at the end of the day. So for all you afternoon folks, this will be one of the responsibilities of the afternoon crew, is they take all the dented cans and open boxes and packaging and they weigh it out and they throw it out at the end of the day. The only day we don't throw out the goat box is Tuesdays. And the reason for that is because we have a wonderful partnership with a chicken farmer in the local area who will take not only our spoiled produce, but also all of our, grains and beans and canned products and open that up for her chickens to feed on. And then some of the items that we would be looking at as far as what items would be in the goat box would be anything like this that is obviously out of date. I mean, I'm sure you guys haven't seen packaging like this in 50 years. So this one doesn't have an expiration date on it. That's how old it is, right? But in addition to that, we're looking for potentially small dented cans that could be on the seam. Reason for that is due to, like Rocky had mentioned, small pinholes forming in the seams that can create botulism inside the can. Large dents are never going to be acceptable, especially if they're on the rim or any type of seal on the can, bottom or top. And then anything that may or may not be opened, right? So this box in particular is a cereal box that has a bag inside. So this one we could reseal, but if this bag were perforated in any way, shape, or form, it'd be a GOAT box item. Some dry goods, like pasta, does not have a bag in it. So if this box is open, we have to trash it. We can't reseal stuff that isn't bagged inside the box.
So let's talk about freebie rack, right? So there's certain items that James went over, that go in the GOAT box that are pretty obvious, right? But what about some things that aren't so obvious? So this has no label, right? But if we check it, it's got the date's fine. It's 2024. That hasn't even happened yet. Who knows what's gonna happen in 2024? Hopefully better things. So this can absolutely go out to the free area. There's no dents, it's fine. It does not need to be thrown away. Our clients will take it and they'll figure out what it is, So who knows, they might shake it and be like, oh, that sounds like some stew, But yeah, so free items are anything that, like this can right here, the date is good, but it's got some denting. I would say this is probably, as long as it doesn't have any visible rust, can probably just go out with normal. It's just got little dents, but the dents aren't actually into the seam. That's the big thing is we're looking for. With that, so I do have these new guidelines that I printed off, and there is a poster over there. I'm going to make the poster better. I had it printed off and they printed on this weird texture, which made it kind of blurry. So I'll get a new one of that. And I did put up the other past ones that are canned food shelf life, canned product stamps, what the stamps mean. I'll go over those in a little bit. But I wanted to show you this. So in this packet, which I'll put right below there, it's got nice big pictures of each one, what they look like, So if it's good or not. Anything in here that looks like this should be thrown away in the GOAT box, okay? So there's a bunch of different ones. Excessive rust. Rust is different than dirt, right? So rust, you can't rub it off, So if you get a can that looks rusty and you are able to rub it off, that's dirt, not rust. What we're looking for is severely excessive dents. Okay. So something like this, I would put on the shelf as long as it's not bulging, as long as the date's okay, and as long as you can open it, right? So we'll get cans that are completely crushed, that we're not gonna put out, right?
So it is okay to put out some dents.
On the freebie shelf, yeah. So if you look in this, it's gonna say severely dented, especially on the rims. If there's any denting on the rims, then that's gonna be where they could get holes in it and botulism could happen, right?
So that other can there, so that you don't consider that to be severe?
I would say this is pretty dented.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say this. I would say this would be GOAT. Yeah, when in doubt, throw it out. When in doubt, throw it out. So like here's a good one that I would say should be GOAT, So I found this in the free area out there. I got all kinds of fun things we're gonna go over because I found some fun stuff. So I found this in the free area. First off, this looks like something, that shouldn't have happened, right? I don't know if it happened to the outside or it's because this is punctured and it leaked out. But this, number one, you can't open it because it's got the pop top and it's severely dented, right? And number two, this could be an open seam now. Mm-hmm. So this should be GOAT box every time, It also looks like it's got something on it that I can't really rub off. So that's probably rust. So this in general should not be on the free shelf, right? This is a great example of what not to put on the free shelf because this is really dented. Now, and as far as the date goes, there is no date on this. So, if the date was good, I'd still say throw it in the GOAT box, So.
It's not.
we'll go to something a little bit more light, which is we just need to be good about housekeeping, right? So whether it be you or somebody on your crew that takes the responsibility of sweeping up and wiping up all of the surfaces that we use throughout the day, this is particularly at the end of your shifts, we should do it once in the morning, once in the afternoon, so that the afternoon crew doesn't have to clean up after the morning crew. But hey, you know, that's just me trying to be considerate. But what I mean is we just take a dry mop of the warehouse, the stop, and the shop area. You can use a broom if you want. I prefer dry mop. And all carts are cleaned and sanitized, particularly at least once a day, if not twice a day. I know Andy does it first thing in the morning on his shifts. That's a great role model over there, if you ask me. But definitely in the afternoon, we could do a better job of cleaning carts, because oftentimes when we come in the morning, they're sticky, and everybody loves grabbing a sticky cart first thing in the morning, so. I will also mention here, there are 3 of our volunteer safety meetings that are associated with warehouse safety, right? So we've got slips, trips, and falls. We've got proper lifting technique, and we have warehouse hazards. So next week, we're gonna go over warehouse hazards, which I can tell you for a fact involves this right here, okay? So what I'm asking of you is to be the spokesperson of safety on your shift. See something, say something. You see somebody come in and they're wearing sandals, you let them know, hey, that's not proper footwear for the warehouse. Do you have a change of shoes? Number 2, you see people doing stuff like this, right? They're gonna need a reminder. That's fine. I'll be happy to remind them if they don't wanna listen to you. But all pallets go outside, right? We don't leave stuff like this to create hazards for ourselves when we're trying to work. What does that do? That creates obstacles for us trying to operate heavy machinery in the warehouse, right? If Don wanted to pull this pallet down and there was a pallet here and this was stuck in the runner, well, then he's got to move this, and this might be wedged. So then he's got to move the pallet, and it just creates a bunch of extra work for one guy when he's trying to help you pull a pallet down, right? So end all be all is be considerate of the person that follows you. And your life will be made easier by the person who comes before you.